a technology which everybody has heard of, but almost nobody has tried. It's called blockchain. And there's been so much mess and hype and anxiety and opportunity around that subject. So once and for good, we wanted to bring here a festival executive and a blockchain innovator to talk really on a practical manner what blockchain can do to you.
And yes, and without further ado, I guess, we would like to invite Maria Tanjala to speak about blockchain and what it's doing to content and monetization of it. And also, like Sten said earlier today, Maria is the recipient of 2 awards very recently. Is it one award? Okay, so the Blockchain Innovator of the Year award in the UK, for which we congratulate you.
Thank you.
And hope to hear more about it.
And then we have Tiffany Pritchard from Screen International moderating later, and then a presentation by Mike Hostench from Sitges Film Festival as well. So Maria, shall you start? And then we get into the other discussions. Please.
Thank you. I think I'm going to use just one microphone this time. So, tere, everyone, and Aita. It's great to be here. I am Maria. I'm the co-founder of Big Couch and FilmChain, alongside Irina Albita, who is my also very dear friend. We know each other since we were 5, from Bucharest, Romania. I live in UK, in London, and that's where we set up the business. Irina is spending a lot of her time in New York, so we're very kind of decentralized, just like the application that we have built this year. We started FilmChain with the aim to collect, allocate, and analyze revenues for film, TV, and digital content on the blockchain technology. So we really started with the assumption of that definitely we feel that these type of amazing creative industries, they still generate money, and obviously, if you look at all the statistics, it definitely feels like the creative industries are booming. But then the question is, what happens with the money? Why people are still fighting to unlock capital? So to us, that was a kind of a very important and quite stringent question that we were asking ourselves. And we set up first Big Couch in 2014. And we were very much kind of keen to bring transparency in a co-financing model, and later on we have set up FilmChain based on the same desire to bring kind of transparency and accountability in the way revenues are flowing. Before I actually jump into the presentation itself, I would really love to get to know you as well. I think it's quite important to know who I'm speaking with. So first of all, I would love to ask you, if you can put your hands up, who is working as a content creator? So be it filmmaker, director, producer. Could you please put your hands up? Okay, fantastic. Thank you. How many people here are working more on the sales, distribution, and marketing chain? Oh, brilliant. Thank you. And lastly, how many of you have like an active interest in technology and particularly in blockchain? Or do you know blockchain a bit? Amazing. Great. Thank you very much. So with FilmChain, we said we want to set up the fintech infrastructure. These are words that can sound quite kind of pretentious and pompous, but at the end of the day, we feel like banks are doing their thing, sometimes slower, sometimes more efficient. How about the blockchain technology that we were at that point kind of really interested in? How about kind of allocating all the revenues in real time and basically making this revenue, this flow of money just to go much more quicker and much more to be spread much more efficiently? Because I'm sure that you have all kind of felt the pressure many times to have to work on spreadsheets, to work on kind of very manual processes. And then the question is, how technology in an industry that is kind of so well established, how can technology do a paradigm shift? So convince people not to trust a person, a human, a spreadsheet, but to trust a machine, to trust a code, so to say. So our goal was to set up basically the flow from the distributors all the way to the filmmakers' pockets. Of course, at the beginning, we have started with what we call collection account management, and particularly the producer's collection account management, in which we gather consent from all the stakeholders involved, be it financiers, private equity investors, bonds, banks, director, producer, cast, crew, everyone involved. And we lock that consensus, not only in what everyone knows as a collection account management agreement, so not only in a legal document, but we also create a visualization so that everyone is on the same page with what they're getting. And thirdly, that set of instruction, it goes onto the smart contracts. So we subtract the information, how everyone should receive their funds, and that goes onto the blockchain decentralized technology. Thirdly, for us, it was very important to have an overview of the IP, almost like a basic rights management tracker. And I know it's ambitious because there's so many amazing kind of software out there, and obviously all the sales have their own kind of data sheets, and we by no means want to exclude what has already been built. But we think it's very, very important that producers, financiers, and sales kind of access the information in the same place, and that information is recorded on the blockchain. Who is exploiting your content? What platforms are kind of selling your film and distributing your film in Shanghai? All this information, it seems to be just so spread out, and we have spoken to producers and to financiers right from the very top, like management funds that are handling hundreds of thousands hundreds of millions in financing plans, and they still struggle to understand who's exploiting their content and where. So before we apply a technology in an industry, I think it's important to go the other way around. Know your industry, know your problems. What are the pains that you're solving? Where did you find that your customers are always coming back over and over again and are complaining about a process, are complaining about not seeing money, are complaining about transparency, and most importantly, how long it takes in order for people to just get paid? We were part of financing plans for several films, and we were asking, sorry, what do you mean we need to wait for 12 months in order to receive the funds? What do you mean we need to set up a threshold? What do you mean beneficiaries are charged $35 or $45 dollars per transaction in order to have more than 5 stakeholders? To us, that was simply just not making sense. At the same time, it also felt that the legal contracts were so complicated and in terms that people were not really agreeing on. It was just like your own interpretation of what you've been offered, that we've heard way too many times that led to legal disputes and to, again, just blocking further revenues. So at that point, we felt that these were the 3 kind of main areas where we can bring transparency, accessibility, and with the automated system that we implemented, we can cater for literally anyone who has a video and needs to distribute it and needs to understand the revenues for the documentary or short film they made, all the way to super complex budgets with hundreds, if necessary, hundreds of collection account management agreements with hundreds of revenue streams or waterfalls that can basically allow people to have a customized revenue stream for each for each exploitation of their content. And we want to encourage that. We don't want to say, it's too difficult, we can't do this, or it's too complex, or it's costing us too much. No, how much into detail you want to go, we are able to accommodate, because that's what technology can do. So we have set up the platform with support from Innovate UK in London, and we were quite surprised to see that right from the beginning, people were kind of very, very eager to test it. The main features are the collection account management, which is, as I said, the collection and allocation of revenues, the visualization that is locked and greenlit by all the signatory parties. And at the same time, that visualization provides people the information in real time how much they have recouped. Second of all, we build a collection account, the collection sources, so the rights management tracker, where sales and financiers and producers can understand and can keep a kind of a nice bookkeeping of where the film is selling. And at the same time, all beneficiaries, be it a camera person who also has like a profit participation, or be it the lead financier, they have access to their own wallet. So people have a wallet and they can see their revenues coming in, they can click to withdraw their revenues, they can see their bank statements and have an understanding how much they still need to recoup in order to have 100% of their investment back. I'm sure you're wondering, are we talking about tokens? Are we talking about cryptocurrency? The answer is absolutely not. We're using the blockchain technology. We're not doing tokenized systems that are on any exchange. Fiat currency is coming in, 500,000 coming in from iTunes. 500,000 is split with all the stakeholders, and when people click withdraw, that's exactly what's going into their bank account. For us, it was very important to protect all of our projects and our clients from the volatility of the cryptocurrency. We absolutely have huge admirations for some projects that have launched initial coins offerings and are about to do some amazing things. For example, the one that I can think of the top of my head is Brave, from the founder of Mozilla. He launched Brave, which is a very good search engine competing with Google on the blockchain. They launched an ICO, raised 30 million in 30 seconds, and we really respect the team behind it. So by no means we say that ICOs are bad and blockchain is only the way forward. It was simply not our choice to go for any exchange tokens because, again, we want to protect the clients from the volatility of cryptocurrency. Going back to the question, what is blockchain? So how to describe it in a kind of very basic manner, I would say blockchain it's almost a subcategory of DLT, distributed ledger technology. That means that the information, any type of information, that's why I put a contract there. It can be an asset, it can be a paper that you're publishing, it can be a picture that you're uploading. That information goes onto this database. And the database, it's not on one computer. It's not centralized. It's decentralized on all the possible computers that are linked into the network. That makes blockchain, the distributed ledger technology, efficient and secure. That means it's almost unhackable because a hacker can't go on hundreds of thousands of computers and change the information. In our case, if we say the recoupment schedule is this amount for sales agents plus this commission, this amount for the first investors plus this commission, no one can go and change this information. It's almost impossible because that anomaly will be detected by all the other computers which don't have the same information on the blocks. At the same time, that makes it very efficient, and almost the cost of transactions are close to zero. That's why everyone in the banking sector was kind of so afraid of the blockchain, because all of a sudden you had this incredible network that is not governed by anyone, that is not influenced by anyone, that is super fast, and that is alive and growing every day. Whoever comes and joins the blockchain and joins the network, that just makes the network more powerful. And it's a complete paradigm shift, taking the power from a centralized source and just giving it to everyone who is part of the network. So if you do have any further questions after the sessions, try to understand better what exactly is this technology. I also want to just put my hand up and say I would be more than happy to give further explanation about it. I want you to see this technology not as this kind of black hole that no one understands what it is and it's like this mystery. It's not. It's very accessible. I'm a film producer at heart. That's why I graduated. If I could understand this, and if I could just literally teach myself and read hundreds of white papers, I promise you anyone can do this. Anyone can understand it, and anyone can implement it in their own applications if they want to in the future. So these are some of the blockchain benefits that we're mostly focusing on. So the automation aspect for us is very important. Let's say 500,000 pounds come in straight away. They are split according to the set of instructions on smart contracts. The technology is allowing us to have much lower fees. We know that at the moment there are a couple of competitors, so to say, traditional collection accounts, collection agents on the market. We've seen many times that they turned down projects that were under $1 million or 1.5, and they had high fees. And we completely understand it. It's a lot of work. It's very manual. There are a lot of accountants that need to check the information, which technology kind of allows us or enables us to also lower the fees. We can process micropayments, meaning if you have £10 in your account, if you want to withdraw £10, you can do this without kind of waiting for any thresholds. It's transparent and traceable to all the parties. We say to our producers, don't trust us. Who am I to say, I have such reputation and I've done this and that, trust me with your money? No. We created an explorer that you can log on to, first of all, to our platform and to see incoming gross receipts and the payment split. And second of all, we created a hub in order for you to log on to the blockchain directly. Don't trust me. You can see it right there. 500,000 pounds came in and how this payment was split according to the set of instruction. How much everyone is getting. Do you want to raise a dispute? No problem. This will notify all the stakeholders that there is a dispute and that there is an issue, there is a challenge with the calculation. Real-time reporting. We've all been kind of waiting for reports months and months and had to pay for interim reports. This is no longer the case because the ledger is basically keeping a bookkeeping of all the information, and it's almost a self-auditing service in itself. And last but not least, the rights management tracker that is recording IP and enables all the stakeholders to understand who is exploiting their content and where. These are the current members of our ecosystem, so the producers, but at the same time the digital video content creators. As I said, we want to encourage anyone who has a video out there to bring transparency and traceability into the way they collect revenues. Financiers, of course, sales agents, director, cast, and crew. Since we have really kind of pushed the ball and we onboarded clients, we've seen a lot of distributors very interested in this new technology, and now we're trying to integrate distributors into kind of their own collection accounts management with further reporting software and statistics. The new features. So besides the rights management tracker that I was talking about, we also went into machine learning and artificial intelligence. Simply because we have access to this data. We understand how revenues flow in. So what are we going to do with this? We're going to feed the data back into the ecosystem. So we're going to tell all the producers and financiers how well their film is performing. We can go very granular, so you can see per week, per territory, per channel of distribution, how much you recouped. You can see what are your best territories. You can make almost marketing decisions in real time. If you see that online is performing better, VOD is performing better than SVOD, you can adjust your marketing campaigns. At the same time, you can make further sales. Let's say that you see your film is performing very well in Germany. Maybe you can go with that data and sell it in Austria. Going further than this, we can also make predictions. So based on the first months of analyzation of revenues, we can predict, considering some variables, how the film will perform over the next 12 months. At the same time, we genuinely believe in a dynamic pricing. Personally, I don't think that all films will perform that well if they cost the same amount of money in a cinema. If you have a blockbuster at the same price with an independent film from Iran, you might struggle. So we want to make recommendations for the online pricing and for the cinema tickets and see how that goes. We already have clients. We were super thrilled to have Euromage, the Council of Europe, taking a leap of faith and going like, yeah, of course, let's use the blockchain technology, why not? At the same time, Germany has been very, very supportive. We were this year part of Berlinale EFM startups. They supported us a lot. Afterwards, we got in touch with their Independent Producers Association, and that's how we met Pelican Blood, the award-winning team in Cannes. Is sold by Films Boutique. The film is expected to premiere in Cannes next year, and we were absolutely thrilled to see how some very established financiers and sales agents and producers were almost desperate to try this new type of collection account management. At the same time, we feel that our traction and our position in the industry really helped. So we have worked on 8 films before. We worked with the British Film Institute, but also with Icelandic Film Centre. So we're not just UK-centric at all. In fact, we worked also on a project with Marina Abramovic on a documentary that was mainly in New York. So we found the issues while doing it. And again, I think for anyone who has an idea for a technology, first of all, they have to go back to the core issues and to ask themselves, what is the most important problem? What is the most painful problem? And how can I solve this? Is technology the right way to do it? Is this particular technology the right way to do it? And then see how it goes. Again, education, we think it's really, really important. So we spent this year talking not only in tech events, but also film events. We want to see this wider adoption. We wrote pages and pages of answers for all the sales, all the financiers who felt that they want to try it, but they don't understand it. And of course, it's a leap of faith, saying, it's all going to happen on this ledger, and it has the answers to all your questions. I'm joking, it doesn't. But at the same time, if that's why I wanted to tell everyone here today, don't be afraid to listen to podcasts, to read articles, or send me an email. I'll be more than happy to kind of send the resources that I myself have documented from a year and a half ago. This is my lovely co-founder, who unfortunately is not here today, but she is taking care of the other side of the pond. She's mainly in North America. We have a team that is decentralized, and we believe in that. So we allow people to be positioned anywhere in the world because there is a lot of trust that is happening in our team. And at the same time, we have really established advisors, not only legal advisors, but also mentors in the film industry. Creative Destruction Lab, if anyone is interested about applications in the blockchain technology, is a fantastic accelerator program in Canada, Toronto. We're part of it. They can tear you apart, but then they put you back together. So please feel free to check it out. Creative Destruction Lab in collaboration with the University of Toronto. If you have any questions in the session, in the Q&A, or afterwards, I'd be more than happy to speak. Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you. That was so excellent.
Yeah.
So blockchain isn't that difficult after all, especially if you hear it from a film producer. But without further ado, I invite Mike Hostench, who is the co-director of Sitges Film Festival. And if you check the trade papers in the beginning of in the beginning of the year, then Sitges actually did something completely strange for a very established old European film festival. So Mike, please come and talk about it.
Well, thank you very much, Stan and Maria. Wow, thank you very much for this presentation. It was really enlightening. And thank you very much again, Stan and the team, for the invitation. Yeah, Sitges is, I will give a much more small and precise and territorial vision of the blockchain because I'm going to focus on the entertainment industry, but specifically in festivals and what is our experience. And actually, I have to admit that we are in the first stage of implementing the blockchain technology on our festival. Sitges is the oldest and largest genre film festival in the world. When I mean genre, I mean mostly horror, science fiction, fantasy. And being innovative is definitely our main goal. And it's true what Stan said, that it sounds kind of strange that a festival is starting to getting involved in the blockchain technology, because festivals, I don't know why, tend to be very conservative. Tallinn Black Nights is a big exception here, believe me. This is why we are here. You are the guys the best on the tech side, definitely. So, but Sitges and Tallinn Black Nights are definitely an exception. Unfortunately, a lot of festivals still think that a festival is just screening films. So we think, no. We think that technological innovation is definitely one of our main goals. We realized about that, or we realized even more about that very recently when we sat down and we produced the new strategic plan for the next 3 years. And a part of doing a 90 pages PowerPoint with all the figures and content and stuff, we also wanted to do an exercise that was reduced to the minimum. What would be the 5 commandments that a festival like Sitges should achieve? Sitges is a medium-sized festival. It's the largest in the world for genre, but it's still a medium-sized show because our budget is around $3 million. But again, we wanted to be very precise and have this and put to work these 5 commandments that we produced during these meetings for our new strategic plan. 4 of them are quite obvious. The first one is obviously a festival has to promote its location. This is why the biggest festivals in the world, the first ones actually, were mostly located in a coastal town or in a touristic town like Cannes or Venice. This is the case of Sitges. The second one is to bring your audience the most important or interesting films of your own genre or category. The third one goes in the opposite direction, is just giving or promoting your own national film industry around the world. The fourth one is understanding that a festival cannot be only restricted to the 11 days or the 5 days or the 15 days of duration. It has to be present online or with specific events 365 days a year. And the fifth one, the fifth commandment, is the reason we are here, and it's technological innovation. For us, is definitely, as I said, one of our main goals. And we can say that now the hottest elements, fields in the technological innovation are VR and the blockchain. And definitely we wanted to be part of this. We wanted to be part of the blockchain ecosystem, and very specifically part of a blockchain ecosystem focused on the entertainment industry and the film industry. And, but for this, we definitely needed a partner. Not only a partner that is a technological partner, but also an ideological partner. If Roland can help me just showing the website, not the video yet, just the website. This is not Sitges' website, as you can see, but there is a reason why this website is here. So we finally decided that we needed to find this partner that would help us to be part of the blockchain universe of the specific blockchain ecosystem that would be focused on the entertainment industry, and definitely it has to be a collaboration, a partnership that will go beyond the technological. It has to be something that would be very educational first, and then very efficient in different fields of the film industry and the film festivals that could make it, as I said, efficient, and not only for the festival organization, but also educational for the audience. So, as Maria put it so well, we immediately understood that what the blockchain offers mainly, a part of all the many things, is transparency, it's decentralization, and it's security. So these three things applied into the film business and the film festivals can be crucial, okay? So if we consider these three elements, we needed to find this partner that could help us to implement these good things about the blockchain on our festival. We found Slate, a Slate Entertainment Group. This was, we achieved, well, we found them through a very dear friend of ours, Nate Bolotin from XYZ Films, which is one of the most interesting independent companies in North America now. We normally have many films from his company, co-produced or produced by them or distributed by them in our festival. And coincidentally, he was member of the board of a Slate Entertainment Group. And in a meeting in LA, he said, "Guy, we were all the time insisting how important the blockchain was. We wanted to be part of this universe. We wanted to be part of this in a very efficient and a specific way for our festival." And Mr. Bolotin told us, "I think you definitely have to speak with a Slate Entertainment Group." Why? Why? Because they have basically three legs. Three legs that basically encompass three concepts that are crucial for the entertainment industry, for the film industry, and for festivals. The first one, they are the guys who develop a protocol, a cryptocurrency called Slate, focused on the entertainment business. Okay, and they already have these deals with the NBA and different other shows and events in America and other places. So they have the cryptocurrency. The second leg is called Slatix. It's a ticketing system. Festivals sell tickets, and definitely you can implement all the good things about the blockchain into your ticketing system. This is a Slatix, that is the ticketing system of a Slate Entertainment Group and the Slate currency. The third one is Binge. Binge is the content platform that the Slate Entertainment Group is developing. We could call it, no problem, they use this expression, they call it now the Netflix on the blockchain. And believe me, they have the financial muscle to produce the original content and buying the third-party content to create a very impressive operation of content on the internet. So, currency, ticketing, content. For a festival, definitely we wanted this partnership, and things happen very quickly in this. Everything is liquid, so in a few weeks, we already had a partnership with Slate, and we admit that we are very excited about it. Before I elaborate about what we are doing now with the Slate, if Roland can play this very interesting video. Very educative also.
Hey, what's up? I'm Slate, and I'm the new digital currency for the entertainment industry. And with me, you can use some amazing platforms, ticketing, streaming, all in a decentralized multi-layer ecosystem. Hold on. Let's go again. Hey, what's up? I'm Slate, and I like having fun. I'm really into movies, you know, going to the theaters, or just staying in and streaming content exclusive to me anywhere in the world. Not to brag. Excuse me. Disruptive. That's my middle name. The key is my blockchain technology, which adds transparency to an industry that really needs it. See, I don't just piggyback off this guy.
I'm sick.
You'll be all right in a week. See, blockchain is great for things like ticketing because it helps prevent piracy. Speaking of which, thank you. Those guys are the worst. Because of my technology, I get where I need to go fast. Maybe a little faster. That works. Come on, son. Go. If I'm not at a movie, I'm probably at an amusement park, comedy show, concert. Great show last night. This is just the start. A lot of really positive changes are coming to the industry, and I don't care if this guy doesn't like it. Wait, I think we can do better than that. I don't care if this guy doesn't like it. What'd I tell you? Oh. I didn't even tell you about the rewards you can earn for viewing movies or hosting masternodes to support our peer-to-peer video content delivery and storage protocol.
And the winner is Slate.
You really want a bunch of thank yous? To sum things up, I'm all about access, having fun, and actually being useful.
So what?
So what? So let's dance.
So thank you, Roland. Thank you very much. Well, I think that this video, as I said, is very educational. And what we wanted to do in Sitges in this first year of this collaboration, of this partnership, was to educate the audience and make them understand that we can say that blockchain is the new internet. Yeah. And because now, believe it or not, obviously you're here because you're very knowledgeable in the new technologies. But most people still have big problems in understanding not only what the blockchain is, they think that blockchain and a cryptocurrency is the same thing. And again, Maria also proves very well that it's not the same thing at all. So obviously the blockchain was created originally as a vehicle for a cryptocurrency Bitcoin. But now the possibilities of the blockchain are immense, and specifically for our industry, for the film industry, and for the festivals also. So we want to educate our audience in what the blockchain can do for them when they attend a festival. So what we did is through this collaboration, through this partnership, is as the timing was not good. We didn't arrive on time to specifically sell tickets through the blockchain. So what we did is now is going to happen very soon. But what we did is just give our audience cryptocurrency, actually borrow them slates. So we give them cards. They can download their wallet and they can start working with and playing with the cryptocurrency. And eventually, when the app is ready, they will be able to buy tickets, Sitges shows tickets, with the slates and other cryptocurrency through this Slatix system. So the first reason we had this partnership is to be part of this world and educate our audience on how they can use this. We actually gave them money because these cards had a value of something like $15 US. So there is a lot of people now, they downloaded the wallet, but with the intention of eventually buying tickets for Sitges. I can say also that this specific operation with the ticketing, we really took it very seriously. We actually our VR section, which is a huge area of the festival, is called the Slate Sitges Cocoon now. It was previously was the Samsung Sitges Cocoon. Now it's a Slate Sitges Cocoon. And a part of the ticketing, the other field that we were very interested about, it was Binge. It was the content. It was the content platform these people is developing. Binge is going to be a reality in 2020. But we announced it first in Cannes with them and then in Sitges. Binge is a huge operation of content, as I said, with original and also third-party acquisitions, with all the advantages and possibilities of the blockchain that we mentioned before, like the accessibility, transparency, that's very important, all the security, and the decentralization. Content at the end of the day is the fuel, is the gasoline of our industry, of the film industry and the audiovisual industry. So, in Sitges, we want to go beyond this. We want this partnership to also nurture a new generation of filmmakers on the blockchain. So if the Binge can not only be a platform that shows movies or shows content, we definitely have, and I would love to work, I'm so keen and looking forward to work with our partners with this, to find a way that transparency, that I think is the most valued element or possibility of the internet, appreciated by the filmmakers, will allure this young talent to put their content on the internet with knowing for sure that it's going to be dealt, it's going to be managed in a way that is going to be transparent. And I am sure this is going to give a big possibility, a big chance, a big opportunity to a lot of young filmmakers. As Sitges and other festivals, like Tallinn Black Nights was for Estonia, Sitges has also been nurturing an important generation of filmmakers since they started. And we want to do the same thing in a global way on the internet. And a big content platform would definitely help us with this. So that's basically it. I wanted to be very precise and focus on what festivals was, because it's something that is quite new. Festivals working with a blockchain partner or on the blockchain. And as you can see, we are so excited and enthusiastic about this partnership and this collaboration and this incredible range of possibilities that the blockchain opens for a festival like Sitges. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mike. And now I have the pleasure to have Tiffany Pritchard, Maria, and Mike to have a little Q&A and take your questions as well. Please.
I'll some water. Okay, bear with me. I'm losing my voice a little bit. So I'm just going to ask a few questions, but we'll open it up, as I'm sure everyone has lots of questions. Thank you for the presentations. It definitely helped simplify this seemingly complex process. I myself just started learning about this in Berlin, which is when I first heard you speak. And through Cannes and Toronto and other festivals, it's almost been overwhelming to hear just how many companies are starting within the blockchain. So I wanted to ask you first, Maria, because you're a veteran around since 2014 with this, how have you seen it evolve? 2014, not many people were talking about it. How have you seen this evolve, even within the public in the last few years?
So when we set up Big Couch in 2014, we were definitely kind of keen to see how generally technology can improve the current state of the art. I think it's important to highlight that at that point we weren't on the blockchain. That was the year that still definitely was being introduced in very kind of closed circles. And as we were going for more tech accelerators that were kind of bringing to our attention, they were like, why don't you use blockchain? It just makes perfect sense. And then it was interesting to see that it just gains a lot of adoption, which is always a great thing. I think even the hype that everyone kind of talked about in 2016, 2017, and then spiking with these this time last year with the crazy amount of money that went into Ethereum and Bitcoin and so on. I think it still did good. It just brought the possibility of doing things differently. It brought this idea to the mainstream. So as a natural transition afterwards, the cryptocurrency market kind of went down, and people were no longer buying, selling without even having any idea what that token does or the white paper of that token. But people started reading. People started listening to podcasts, and then they came up with ideas like, what can we do? Fantastic. For example, the ticketing industry, it's like one in itself that can be massively disrupted through this. So tickets for concerts or for football games anywhere. So people just kind of started putting the two together, leaving aside their My Ethereum wallet, and I think that's always great. It just encourages people to take initiative. Then the question is, who finances you? Where can you apply? Where can you put a team that is strong enough to deliver a project from beginning to an end? That's a separate discussion. But I would say that goes with any other startup, right? How many of them fail? I think it's about 1 in 12 that actually survives. So that doesn't have to do with blockchain. It's just generally how people work together.
And I had understood it that you had to have cryptocurrency to work within blockchain, but as it turns out, that's not necessarily the case.
So what we have definitely a tokenized system, but it's internal. So we never kind of exchange it on any exchange, so to say. We're very interested, and I want to put the idea out there. There are some fantastic stable coins coming out. They already exist, and now they're getting much more traction. A stable coin is a token that is pegged to a fiat. So for example, Circle is one of them. One token is $1, and it's backed by the existence of a pot of dollars. So that one token will always be $1. And that's a stable coin, meaning that it will not go up and down in pricing. However, it will still use the blockchain technology. At the moment, we're not using a stable coin either. The question is, it was one called Tether. There still is, but it had a lot of kind of bad press around it because they had banks backing it up, because obviously you need a reserve of money, a reserve of fiat currency to back it up. And afterwards, it was debatable if that pot of money actually exists. So all of a sudden, you don't have a stable coin anymore. So there's still kind of a bit of uncertainty around it. But it's very interesting because stable coins can facilitate exactly that. Can facilitate the use of blockchain technology, but with no volatility. What we work with is an API integration with banking partners. So our blockchain still communicates with the bank accounts, and that's where the magic happens.
And then just to talk a little bit about Slate.
Yeah, the ticketing system, yeah.
But you were also saying that, because I know there's confusion on, if I get $15 and I want to invest in a $15 ticket, how do I know that by the time I invest in my ticket, that's not going?
There is an answer for this. Oh, first of all, for the record, I'm the co-director of Sitges. The director is my dear friend Angel Sala, just in case somebody asks. But because it says director, I'm the co-director. What you're asking is a quite common question, and it makes all the sense in the world, because what people is more concerned about when they start talking about the blockchain and cryptocurrency is the fluctuation. It's a liquid world, and the fluctuation can be good, can be bad. When we're talking about ticketing, there is a way, don't ask me the technicalities please, but there is a way that you can block the value of these tickets during a certain period of time. So it's not going to happen that when you're going to spend your money, it's going to be half the price or double the price or triple the price depending on the fluctuation. That's not going to happen. So there is a way, and these guys developed a way that it can be blocked.
Mm-hmm. And I know another issue that's been brought up in several other panels is how to get more people involved in, whether it's the VOD platforms or just the trust, and get involved, with crew funding, or how have you found this, in terms of reaching out to audiences and getting people to get involved, and what has been that process? Because I know there's a lot of skepticism, a lot of people that are hesitant.
I was quite surprised actually how open people were. It was, if anything, it was one of the nice epiphanies happening this year. I'm also generally quite a positive person, so I tend to see the good side. If someone says 5 bad things and 1 good thing, I'll remember the good one. But it's this hunger of change, right? It's people see disruption in distribution, for example. They've seen that they can crowdfund themselves, so they've seen a disruption in finance, and this is like such a beautiful industry, and it is thriving. As I said, like people are consuming content all the time. It's not a dying industry, but it is if you're looking at statistics, it's a dying industry as we know it, in terms of what the interactions are between the key players and who the key players are, because the key players are changing, whether we like it or not. Tech giants are coming into the picture, new ways of distributing content, new ways of financing, as I said. So I would say that over the past 7 to 5 years, it has been like such a change of dynamic in the overall industry that simply made the industry ripe for further disruption. So that's why I think creative industries are the place to start with a blockchain technology, more than, I don't know, maybe a bit more conservative industries, such as, I don't know, like constructions or banking or so on. Because you've seen change and you've seen beneficial change, and you're willing to give it a try. That's kind of my take after a year of basically going to all sorts of festivals and talking to all sorts of people, different ages, different backgrounds, but with an appetite for disruption.
And then, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to add one thing, because this reminds me of Paul Schrader, who is one of the best filmmakers of the last 40 years, and he was in Sitges in a masterclass. He theorized a little bit about change in the film industry, because people were starting to making questions about the blockchain and all that, and what was the next stage and all this. This guy is probably, and this is no BS, probably the most intelligent guy in Hollywood. So, and Paul Schrader said, forget about the next stage. We are already living in a complete disruption and constant evolution. So we have to adapt to this ecosystem. Forget next stage, what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next? It happened yesterday. So, and could sound obvious, it's not. It's the best way to put on words the situation we are living now, and you also put it very well now. Yeah.
And have you found it, since you've had this collaboration with Slate, more filmmakers are coming to talk to you about how do we get involved and yeah, absolutely. The content platform is not ready yet. It's going to be ready, as I said, in the beginning of 2020. But of course, one of the main objectives in Sitges this year was to let people know this is happening. And let people know, don't be scared about the blockchain. We have to go back to the basics. We have to tell them blockchain and cryptocurrency is not the same. Blockchain is internet, basically. But don't worry about the technicalities. Just use it. It's like when you use a car or a computer, you don't know the specifics about the technology. You just use it. So we have to go back to the basics, explain this kind of very basic contents to our audience, and then they will start making questions like, oh, so I can get my revenues this way or that way. That's much more transparent. Or it will be much more secure, or people will not be able to counterfeit my tickets. This kind of stuff comes on the second stage of education. And to talk about the 2 films already within 1 year that you've had, maybe just expand on that a little bit. Like, what was that process? Like your image, and I mean, you would think that would be quite a challenging feat to get them on board.
some conversations were tougher than others. I have to say. I think you just have to have the kind of the patience and the openness to talk to anyone who has questions. I think definitely, Mike and I are on the same kind of wavelength here. We've both spent an entire year speaking to all different stakeholders, different kind of members of the ecosystem. So as long as people kind of understand what's the offer, how it can save them time and money, because essentially it's still down to that, it's fine. They're happy to do it. And then there are these questions, right? Because it's almost too conflicting information. Blockchain is open source and decentralized, and everyone can go and check it. Yes, that's a foundation, but at the same time, not really. There are different layers of privacy. Obviously, different people have to access different types of information. Not anyone can. You wouldn't go and just open your wallet and just show it to anyone who wants to see, right? So, based on this foundation of decentralization and transparency and efficiency and automation, then you start building the layers that your customers need, essentially. And I think, again, that's kind of very important to say. It's not like just anyone can log on to this blockchain, this kind of abstract concept, and can see anything, because it wouldn't work like this. So once you kind of rest everyone assured that their information is safe, then it's a much easier conversation. And what I wanted also to add, I think that the next disruption will be in marketing in the entertainment industry. So the way consumers are engaging with content, and how you start, using more the word of mouth, more of the peer-to-peer influencers. It's not something that we implement right now, but at the same time, I see it. It's there. I think that's kind of the next move. Simply because people love being rewarded, as I would assume that it will be next on binge, right? And there must be better ways also of spreading the word, or making people aware of good content.
Yeah, it's true, because the ticketing, the platform or the ticketing system also allows you a dialogue with your audience, because it works basically like a super modern blockchain CRM. So that's basically the contact with the universe surrounding your event, your festival, is also all the possibilities that the blockchain opens through the ticketing or the content platform, as you said. It's also very useful and very profitable for festivals, for example.
And it gathers data, right?
And rewarding system, the data through the rewarding system.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because once you have the data, once you understand what your audience wants, and what it's a much easier communication between content creator and the audience, which didn't exist before, right? Like right now we have this ledger, which is the DLT, that is just kind of is able to store all this data that you're capturing, and then if you build machine learning and AI on top of it, then you start making sense of that data, which is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Do we have any time for questions then? Few? Are there any questions out here? Everyone's going to be shy.
You mentioned that it's not completely open, so I think this is a permission chain. Okay, so just repeat. I take it you mentioned this is not completely open, so I take it this is a permission chain. So can you speak a bit about who actually gets access to the ledger in FilmChain then?
Yes. So basically, even on the blockchain, so even on the Ethereum, we're building on Ethereum, but at the same time, you can look at Hyperledger as well, on Fabric, or all of the other blockchains out there. You can still build layers, even on the mainnet. You can still build layers of privacy, simply because. In our case, it was the members of the same organization. So let's say one of the big financiers, they want several people with several accounts to log onto the dashboard and to see different types of information. Someone needs to see the contracts and check the legal aspect. Someone needs to see the recoupments and the revenue split. And someone is, let's say, an assistant and just needs to see that the bank details are correct. So right from the beginning, we understood that people need different layers of accessing the information. And it's not only on the UX UI of the dashboards, but it's also building those levels of privacy on the blockchain. So that's how you have to kind of think about it. The foundation is there, but it's still your customer, the one telling you who should have access to what. Because again, as I said, you wouldn't. I don't think it's realistic in any world to say I have a wallet and that's my wallet, and anyone can look into my wallet simply because we're part of the same network.
Can you elaborate a bit on the levels of privacy? Because as far as I know, there are no working full privacy implementations on top of Ethereum yet, and even if you don't give access, let's say through the dashboard, at the end of the day, the transactions are still being logged there, and anybody could do forensics and look into this. Or am I mistaken?
I'm more than happy to afterwards kind of take this a bit more technical conversation if you want separately.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, for Maria. What were some of the most difficult conversations that you had with producers and directors, and how did you deal
That's a
with
great
those?
question.
Get them on board.
Okay, so where we are now is the technology is there to store data, but then the question is who inputs the data? And we're completely aware of this. It's how you facilitate, how you make it easier for anyone inputting the data, the revenues coming in, declaring territories, declaring channels of distribution. How do you incentivize all the key players to be honest, to put the right information in, and how much you can cut down middlemen? And if anything, the conversations we were having with producers were like, yeah, that's great. Okay, you're sorting out the collection account management for producers. Brilliant. That happens instantly. But there's still a problem because we always feel that the money coming in is not actually the money recouped from the content consumer. What can you do about it? So that's kind of the next stage for us. How to create incentive mechanisms for everyone to kind of play their part and to benefit from a system where it's easy and kind of accessible to input data, and how you reward people for being honest. Because for us, it was very, very important to take all of the stakeholders, right? So anything from anyone who's distributing, marketing, exploiting your content, and not to restrict ourselves to just several partners. But then the question still remains, and is this mistrust, right? I think that you're hiding something. and then the person who you go and say, and you ask the person, sorry, are you hiding something? It's like, no, it's not me hiding something. There's someone else hiding something. And that's where still a lot of work to be done.
Great. Thank you very much for the discussion. We're going to have to move on to our next speaker. So let's give a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.